Welcome to the maybe second episode of This Life, a podcast by Mayorca Media.
That was it.
That's what it was. Was that clean?
Yeah.
Is that clean? Just. Today, actually, we're here once again at the Local Hub Studios. Local Hub is a co-working space for anyone who might have to work at home. It's for students. It's for remote workers. Something that we've actually seen is that people who work from home have had their companies pay for the space or for a desk, and that's at no cost to you. So if you're interested in co-working spaces, you can definitely reach out to your employer and see if they do that. It's an amazing space. It's in downtown Escondido. It's on Grand. It's minutes away from salons, from coffee shops, and from the best place ever, Burger Bench. Sponsor us. Today, I'm sitting down with my friend Jasmine. I'm sitting down with Jasmine. Hello.
Hello.
You have to say thanks for having me on.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jasmine is my barber. Jasmine cuts my hair, and that's how we met.
I'm going to like to say hairstylist.
Jasmine's my barber, because I don't really get my hair styled.
Right.
I get it barbed.
Yes.
So we have. How did we meet?
Through Claudia.
We
Moreno.
met through, right. We shout out to Claudia Moreno. Mm-hmm. More shouts out this episode.
Right.
We met through our friend Claudia, and then I asked you if you would cut my hair, and
you did. Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah, and then we became we had that relationship.
Yeah.
Hairstylist and client.
Yeah. And that's all we are.
Yeah.
No, I would consider Jasmine a friend, kind of, but we've spoken about a couple of things. So let's start off with like introducing you, what you do, how you found yourself doing what you do. Mm. And let's start there.
So I am a hairstylist of 6 years, and I found myself doing hair probably wanting to do it probably my junior year in high school. And then, I went to college for a little bit. Wasn't my thing. And then I decided to go to beauty school. And then that was it.
So what did you do in college? Like what first of all, what school did you go to, and what?
Oh, I went to Palomar. Not just went to Palomar, but I went to Palomar. I only went to play soccer. And then once my soccer career fizzled out, I was just like, you know what, this isn't what I want to do anymore. And I want to start a career that I love. And, so then I went to beauty school.
How long did you play soccer for?
Oh, geez. I started when I was 6. And then I played competitive since I was, I want to say 8 or 9. And then I played throughout competitive and then high school. And then I played for Palomar.
Dang. Mm-hmm. Did you like freak out once you kind of made that decision of, I don't want to do this anymore? Or did your parents freak out?
My parents definitely freaked out. My mom kind of wanted me to do the whole get a degree and follow that. And I went to school for her. And that's what I wanted to do. And then once I was like, you know what, this isn't my thing. I want to start my clientele. I don't want to start when I'm older and then having to go back and backtrack. So I jumped, and scariest thing I probably ever done, but one of the best decisions I've probably ever made.
Is being a
hairstylist.
A hairstylist.
Yeah, I'm going to beauty school.
So what are because I myself, and I've talked about this and I'll keep talking about it, I myself am a self-starter. Today, actually, July 31st, is 1 year of me quitting my job, putting in my 2 weeks and saying, fuck it, this is what I'm doing.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So jumping into it, I know that it was super scary for me because I was like, where do I get my clients? I had clients from before, but then, those sometimes fizzle out, or they just don't want, sometimes it's not the right time, or COVID happens. Mm-hmm. So what were kind of the struggles you had at first? So let's let's kind of skip through beauty school. Was that fun? Beauty
No. No, I'm not a fan of school. That just wasn't my thing. And I didn't think that beauty school was going to be anatomy and learning about the diseases that a scalp or your toenails could have. It was disgusting. That was not my thing. I thought I was going to go and do a lot of hair color, and that it was not it. And I was working on people that just didn't take care of themselves. I do not recommend, well, I mean, obviously, like, you have to, but looking back at it, it's disgusting.
Dude,
a lot of people don't know that.
I know. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
I literally just said, let's go ahead and skip through beauty school. So what do you take me through, like the beauty school? Because it's 1 year, right? And it's just
okay, so it's supposed to be about 10 months. I went through a lot of stuff during my beauty school experience, personal stuff, so it took me about a year. So that's the most it could take you, because I went to the day school, so that's full time, and so you're kind of limited on like how long it should take you.
So but you hated it?
Yeah. It turned me off about cosmetology a little bit, just because like dealing with the people.
Dang, what kind of people did you have to deal with?
Oh my gosh. We call them LOLs, little old ladies. And they weren't the cleanest.
So were those just people you found on the street? Or
no, they come in because it's like you get a $5 haircut.
Oh.
So everything's like super cheap there. We had to do pedicures.
Oh.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. So I used to make my friends come in.
Yeah. So you're a classist. You hate the poor. So I'm just kidding.
You're dumb.
So you're talking about some stuff that you went through during beauty school. Mm-hmm. Wow, good thing I didn't skip beauty school, man.
Yeah, that's when a lot of that started.
So, and this is ThisLife, man. This is what this podcast is about, is, someone going through a journey, mm-hmm. which is beauty school, going into your career, mm-hmm. and going through stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of dive into when it started, how it started, kind of how you dealt with it.
So I think when I was in beauty school was like I always dealt with anxiety and, panic attacks, but not to that extent. It was still like, I would shake, I would hyperventilate. Like it was so bad. And to the point where I would like throw up because it was a lot. It was just a lot of life changing, I think, like me switching from playing soccer every day and going to school, and then completely changing it and being like, oh, like I'm going to go to beauty school, something that's so different. And I think it was just like the switches in my life that just kind of happened.
So how old were you when you switched?
I want to say 19, maybe 20. Yeah. And then I was dealing with that, so I skipped a lot of school. So that's why it took me so long, is that I would freak out. I would sit in the parking lot and just leave because I couldn't be there. So I would just like take off and call my mom, and she had to deal with me. But then that's when I started taking little like I took Xanax for a little bit, and I realized that I almost got kicked out of beauty school for that, because I was a zombie. And I would just sit there, and they would constantly ask me like, what are you on? And I'm like, nothing. Because like at first I thought that was just like the medication I needed, and it's not.
Yeah.
So I remember like sitting in like her name. It's like the main person that had the school. I don't know.
Like
I would say the principal of it.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in her office, and she was just like, look, like you have to be aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was completely out of it. Mm-hmm. So I almost got kicked out of school for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
it was the life changes that triggered it.
Yeah, it was a lot of life changing. Like during that, I was going through at that time like I want to say a bad breakup, but it's probably one of the best blessings I've ever had. I do. And at that point I was like my first heartbreak when I was like 19, and
Dude,
I thought
the worst.
Thought the world was ending, but really that really just lined everything up for me.
Damn.
Yeah, and I think that had a lot to do with it too.
Was the mixture of a breakup?
And then, mixture of that, and then just completely switching. So, and it was just my whole life changing.
Did you have this before? Did you ever see signs of this before?
Yeah, usually during soccer. It was a lot when in soccer. Like, I remember crying before a soccer game because I didn't want to do it. Just because, like, for no reason. Like, there was no reason for me to cry. Like, there was no reason for me not to want to play. I just did not want to play. And it was weird. Yeah. So that had a lot to do with it. And then, like, looking back at it, it was just like, there are so many different signs that, like, you overlook. You just, like, you're an emotional teenager. Which, I mean, I'm sure that played a part in it, too.
Chemical imbalances.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm a girl. So I have a lot of emotions and hormones. And
no comment.
Yeah.
That's crazy because when I played football, I played football for 3 years and I absolutely sucked at it because I just didn't want to do it, but all my friends were doing it.
Right.
And when I remember every single Friday after a game, I would just feel like emotionally drained. Like not even, I could just sit on the sidelines and then of course I would get benched, but I just felt sad. Like you feel like you did so much and you feel like I don't know. Same thing. I would just like cry after and I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with me, dude? Like on the way to the varsity game, I remember I had this little walk all the time and I would just walk in the dark with like my hood on, just like sitting there crying. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I would show up and see everyone and be like, yay, what's up? Like nothing was wrong.
Yeah.
So that's crazy because, and tell me if you like resonate with this, but there's literally there was nothing to be sad about.
No.
But then you would kind of, for example, I would be like, well, I had a bad game. And you kind of pinpoint it on different things.
The little things.
Exactly. And it's not the end of the world. Like,
right.
I had bad games all the time. I had bad practices. Who cares? It's high school.
Yeah.
If there are any high schoolers listening, it's really not that bad.
It's not.
Like Becky in ASB screaming at you, she's probably not going anywhere. It's fine.
Yeah.
Relax. But going back to beauty school, did you take Xanax with a prescription, or did you just find some in someone's purse? No comment.
No comment.
I know a couple of people that have anxiety and depression and stuff, and
yeah.
they just find it because
for me, it was more of like, okay, I'm going to deal with it right now type of thing. And the people I went to beauty school with weren't the best influences.
Right.
So, they're like, oh, try this, get this, like, have this. And I could be having a panic attack in the parking lot and a girl would walk out and be like, here's some of this, like,
dang.
Calm down, and
what's her name?
I don't think she lives. I don't know.
Get her, boys. That's crazy.
Yeah. So then I remember talking to my mom about it. My mom thought that I needed to be put on medication. My mom loved my mom, but she
blew it.
She was kind of pushing it. And I was like, Mom, no, I don't want that. Because I didn't like who I was. And now she works for a doctor's office. So she knows a lot about it. So she was just like, there's different things that we could do, So a lot of it was breathing. My breathing was just, there's exercises. There's things like you can push your hands together and that kind of relieves everything. So it's just like little things like that to kind of keep your mind off of it.
Put your hands together?
Like you have to go like this and just like push. Yeah. And I would like sit in my car and just like, it helped though. But I mean, it obviously doesn't cure anything, right. But yeah, it helped a little bit. So
did you think that these actually helped in the long run, or was it just at the moment?
What
the exercises?
I think they just in the moment kind of keep your mind off of it. I don't think it's something that, I mean, if you feel like you do need it, I don't want to say that medication's bad because some people need it. Me personally, yeah, me personally, I just am scared. I think I'm more scared of it and being dependent on it.
Right.
So that was another thing. My mom works for a psychiatrist's office. So I would talk to her about it, Yeah. And I think that's another thing, just letting it all out helps tons. But like when you cry for no reason, which I do, and literally for no reason, my boyfriend knows all about it. Off
camera, we have Manny, that's Jasmine's boyfriend.
There's been times where even like not too long ago, I was talking to him and I would freak out. And he's like, babe, what's wrong? I'm like, I can't tell you. And he thought that I think I was having a psychotic breakdown or break or whatever. Yeah. And it really wasn't. It just, I didn't know how to tell him that like, I'm just going through it.
Right.
You know, and I would cry and like, it was horrible.
So then those moments, was it something that triggered it, or was it just a buildup of?
I think it's changes for me. I think when I was in beauty school and going through all that, that was one. When I stopped going to beauty school and I had to go into the real salon, that was another one. Then switching jobs. I mean, I worked at Red Robin for 4.5 years. I had to switch to Miguel's. That was one. Like, just little things. And recently, like not too long ago, it's been like 2 years, like maybe a year and a half, I don't know, something like that. When I went to be a hairstylist full time, I full on pulled up to the salon. I had a full day ahead of me. Like, I had client after client, and I pulled up and I just started crying and I had to leave. I couldn't do it.
Damn.
And I went to my mom. My mom literally is the best person in the whole wide world. I love her.
What's your mom's name?
Doreen.
Shout out to Doreen.
Yeah.
Big shout out.
I honestly, if I didn't have her, or even like Manny,
shout out Manny.
Yeah, they helped a lot. It just, you know, that one was probably one of the worst ones. And then I'm gonna lie, I went to the emergency room one time because I could not breathe.
During when was this?
That was when I quit Red Robin and I started working at Miguel's, and I was in the parking lot sweating. My whole uniform was drenched. I couldn't breathe. I started throwing up. My mom was just like freaking out. She was like, I'm going to come get you. Took me to the ER.
Dude. So my kind of anxiety, I guess it's this one's a little mixture of both anxiety and the depression. Also stems from big life changes. When I graduated, this all started when I was a freshman in high school. I was a freshman in 2009. I went from middle school to, and I've talked about this, but I went from middle school to high school. And when you're a teenager, that's a pretty big change. You go from like everyone's being all innocent and stuff, and to everyone going out and like drinking and hanging out with older people. I mean, like 14-year-olds hanging out with like 18-year-olds. And
Yeah.
I wasn't really in that circle where I was hanging out with older people. I was still kind of, not my maturity, but just kind of my mindset was still back in middle school. And I was just remembering about the old times. And that like triggered it. And I was like, I don't really know what I'm feeling. And then same thing. I had a breakup, which obviously when you're in like, you're a freshman in high school, like that's your world. That's the girl you're going to marry. Yeah. And like, again, high schoolers, it's not that big of a deal.
No. You'll trust me.
Yeah,
you'll move on.
You'll get over it. So that kind of triggered it. And then just like little other things triggered it, and changing of friends. And, and then again, after high school, going into college, I had that breakdown of just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I don't know what, because your life is so planned out in high school. All you have to worry about is like, am I going to be in, Mr. Einstein's class with my friends? You don't have to worry about, oh shit, I have to pay for school. How do I pay for school? So then every time I think with changes, life brings on like new challenges. Like for you, I mean, for me, if I was being really callous and I heard your story, it was like, well, you're just moving jobs. I've had like 12 jobs. Yeah. But for you, it was like your world was Red Robin. Yeah. Which sounds funny. But your world was burgers and fries. Right. And I have to move to tacos. That's a big
enchiladas.
change.
I don't know enchiladas like that.
Damn. You remember the freckled lemonade?
Yeah. Honestly, if I can tell you how much sugar and how disgusting that is, you would, and the ranch. Let me tell you about the ranch real quick.
Oh no.
I remember I was in the bag. One, they make the ranch in trash cans. Yeah.
What?
Yes. They make it in trash cans.
But not trash cans that they use for trash.
Right. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's white. They're big trash cans. That's what the ranch is. There is this one time I was climbing in the back for something. I don't remember. Probably some frozen strawberries that are gross. And I slipped, and my shoes from that place was so disgusting because you're stepping on old burgers and buns and sauces and disgusting stuff, and my foot slipped into the ranch. My whole foot, like it was up to like my knees, And I remember telling them like, yo, my foot just went into the whole trash can of ranch, and they sold it. They did not care. So I would not use the ranch.
I'm gonna have to cut this whole thing out. I don't want to get sued by Red Robin. That's not. I'm not affiliated with her. Anyway,
I tell everyone that story.
Holy crap! So let's go back to other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what we're talking before.
Sorry. Oh, switching jobs from going into burgers and fries to tacos and enchiladas.
Right. So you worked there for 4 years, you said?
I was there for 4.5 years.
At Nasty Red Robin?
Yeah.
I was in high school for 4 years, and then I went on to college. How long were you at Miguel's?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. That's a pretty long time. So a lot of people just think, oh, I'm just overreacting. Oh, I'm just a hormonal teenager. I'm just this. I'm just that. But something that might seem small to someone else can be such a big change in your life that you're gonna have that breakdown. Obviously you're gonna freak out and be like, what am I doing?
Right.
Because that's Red Robin, burgers and fries was all I knew. And this is just a metaphor. Like I'm not, crapping on you or whatever.
Right.
But burgers and fries was all I knew. Enchiladas, like what is this? Like,
yeah.
Imagine seeing an enchilada for the first time ever in your life, just being like, oh, what the hell? That's exactly what something new, like college, like a new job, like even like marriage. That's what that's why people freak out.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how big or small it is.
I think it'd just be something so little, like something that gets you out of your routine.
Zone.
Yeah, and routine.
Yeah.
And it's something completely different. It's a shock. It's it's different.
Yeah. During beauty school, did you end up going, how did you end up kind of going through beauty school? Surviving through beauty school?
That beauty school was rough for me. Like between one, not showing up and having to go on Saturday or on Mondays and stuff when I wasn't supposed to be there. I was Tuesday through Saturday. So doing that was a lot. Dealing with the girl. I mean, girls are mean. And
that's what I've heard.
That was a whole nother thing. Like that was just it was a lot. But I don't know. I feel like my beauty school experience might be a little bit better than others, but also worse than others. So it was okay. I don't want to go back.
I don't think you have to.
I'm sweating because I don't want to think about it.
How did you get through it?
In what way?
Like, how did you get through that? Did you just kind of trudge through it?
I think I did. I'm not gonna lie. I think I definitely slacked in a lot of it.
Yeah.
And not showing up or cheating my way through some things. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot about you and Red Robin today.
Sorry.
Cheater. So I keep saying so and is like two of the things that I've noticed that I say it's so annoying. And then
I say a lot.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. And you take me through your first day take me through that day of of going into the salon on your booked day and just like freaking out and like,
oh my gosh,
having a meltdown.
I honestly don't even know what triggered that. I think just me being a full-time hairstylist at that point, and I was working 7 days a week. I was at the salon 3 days and at Miguel's 4 days. So I was busy. And I was also trying to build my clientele at that point.
Right.
So doing all of that and having a social life and seeing my family and trying to date, it was hard. And that day when that was like, okay, I'm going to stop working at Miguel's. I'm going to go to the salon and that's going to be my job. And like not having a security blanket, I guess it was really, really hard.
Right.
So I don't know. I just showed up and it just hit me. Like I couldn't even get out of my car. It was bad. I could not get out of my car. Luckily, like my aunt owns the salon I work at. Love her, so, I remember calling her and just being like, Thea, like I can't get in, crying. I was crying. I was sweating and I was like, I can't get out of my car. And I took off. I just took off. And I remember she called me like 1,000 times. And when she got to the salon and she's like, babe, like, are you here? Like, are you home? Like, I try to she rushed to get there So to try to talk to me.
Right.
And by that time I was probably on the 78 going going towards my mom. I'm such a mom's girl. Like I wanted my mom, and I booked it to my mom, and my mom was at work, and she's a manager there. So she can't be like, dude, my daughter's having a breakdown, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember just calling her and like crying, and she came outside and she was just trying to calm me down. And I have some family members that also go through some of the things that I've gone through. And so she was just like, you need to go. She called my cousin. My cousin had to come see me. It was bad. It was really bad. And then she was trying to like give me she wanted to give me pills. I knew it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no. But yet crying at the same time. I remember even like calling Manny and him like not even like knowing what to do, you know? And I think that was the first time like he really saw that. Like he was like, oh, this is what she's been saying, you know, like this is it, you know? And he's still here.
Did that make you want to run at the time?
No, not at the time.
If you didn't hear that, you said no, not at the time.
Now he's rethinking his decision.
That's good.
3 years later.
That's rough, especially when you have a significant other and they don't. I mean, I don't know if Manny understood the severity of it or like what it's like. Mm-hmm. But if they don't understand, and I was with someone who didn't really get it, and it was just like it was tough. I remember I kind of had the same thing that you did. Mm-hmm. I had a meeting at my work. I remember I was working for a city of Coronado, and our boss told us, you know, we don't as of right now we don't have the budget for these programs. One of the programs I was in charge of, mm-hmm. and she was like, also, we don't really exactly have the budget for a whole lot of employees. And that's all she said. And then she said, all right, now we're going to learn about marketing. And I was just like I looked around, I was like, yo, did other people hear that? Like, am I going to get laid off? Do I have a job in, you know, a couple months? Like, what the hell? And I was already looking for a job for about 2 years, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And this was a part-time job. So I went from looking for full-time jobs mm-hmm. to getting a desk job. And I was just like, this sucks. Yeah. So, and like beyond that, I wasn't happy at that job. I felt like I could do more, but I didn't know how. No one was really giving me an opportunity. So everything, again, it was another life change, and it was a bunch of little things building up. Mm-hmm. And I remember I went to my girlfriend's house at the time, and I was like, how'd work go? And she was like, oh my God, it was so great. I had an amazing day. And then as soon as you hear that, when you're like having kind of a breakdown, you're just kind of like, yeah, fuck you, man. Yeah. Even though it's not their fault.
It's just a sort of resentment in a way.
Exactly. 100%. And mm-hmm. I even feel bad for like saying that, but she kept saying, like talking, and you know, I had a productive day, and I did this and I did that. And I was just like, cool. And she's like, are you okay? You seem kind of off. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have a job in a couple months. She was like, well, you have your photography. And I was like, and then everything just kind of spilled out. It's like, yeah, but that can't support me. I don't have enough clients. I don't blah, blah, blah. I don't blah, blah, blah. Like, because I had, like you, I had that safety net. Mm-hmm. Yours was Miguel's. Mine was City of Coronado. And I had that safety net that actually was doing me harm. And I didn't really see it. But I had a full breakdown. Like, I started like, my heart was just pounding out of my chest. And I was like wheezing, which I've only done when I've like done a really hard workout, which is every day. And just kidding. Dude, I started wheezing. Like I was just like, and like I like walked out. I was like, oh my God, dude, my life is over. Like I wasn't even like making sense. And then I literally like ran. Like I was like thinking about it now. Someone was watching me. I just ran down the street. And then I walked, and I was like putting my hands on my head and just like breathing it out. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But then
I feel like sometimes you have to go through that though.
Yeah.
Like you just have to go through it.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because then like that's kind of what makes you. It's like, okay, now let me reassess what I was bummed about and let me figure it out.
Right.
So what did you have after you, or what, not what did you have, but what was did you come up with some sort of conclusion after your breakdown? Did you come up with something, or did you just say like, okay, I'm done and let's keep moving on?
It was that day was just kind of weird. I just remember going to my cousin's and just sitting there, and she just was just talking to me normal, you know, and it just kind of calmed me down. Like, all right, like, so what are you going to do the rest of the day? Because they had to completely reschedule my day because I was just a hot mess.
Sorry, I was trying to fix the cable. Keep going. Yeah, your day was over.
Yeah, my day was over at that point. And I think, honestly, that day was a blur. I might have I think Manny maybe came over. I don't remember.
He's like, me neither.
Yeah, he's just like that.
I don't think about that day anymore.
Yeah, he tries to forget about it. It's all right.
Poor Manny. He can't even like defend himself. He doesn't have a mic.
No. Good. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't, that day was such a blur. I think I slept, you know, that was another thing. Like, I sleep a lot, and that, I think that was another like thing to get me away from what's going on.
Sleeping all day.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you don't have to think.
No, yeah, and it's easy, and I just fell asleep, and I'm a napper. I like to nap. So I think that was another thing. It was just, you know, I'm just going to take a nap and try to forget about it. I do that. If whatever I'm going through, if I'm having a bad day, I'm going to nap.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Can't afford dinner. Nap for dinner.
I can't eat those calories. Nap.
Dude, how good though? And this is gonna sound so crazy, and I'm sure people that don't know what it's like are just gonna be like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? But how good is a nap after you've just had like a complete breakdown and like a cry, like a, you know, like after you're like
when I cry, my eyes get so puffy and red, and they hurt. Okay, they hurt to the point where I don't want to open them. So that is like my eyes, and you can ask him. Damn. When I cry, you see it in my eyes. He's like, yeah.
Damn. Dude, no, I nap it off, and I'm just like, oh, and I wake up just, oh man, life is good now.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need that. Maybe you're just tired.
Yeah.
No, I remember that was another thing. My mom was just like,
oh, you're just
did
tired.
you nap, babe?
Just blaming on the lack of sleep.
Yeah. But no, I don't remember that day too much. I think I try to block it out a little bit, to be honest. I just remember going to my mom's and having a mental breakdown in her office, and her just, I mean, she's a saint. She knows how to handle it. So she was just like, okay, like breathe a little bit, you know, and I think that helps a lot. Is having a support system. That's another thing.
That's huge, having a support. And that's said a lot. And I don't think people know what having a support system is. No,
not at all. And I think that like just having people that understand you and not judge you, you know, and understand that like you react to things differently, and it's okay, you know, and that's huge.
Do you go to therapy? Or did you ever?
I have, but again, no, I think
it wasn't.
I'm gonna sound like a complete, I don't even know, like a mama's girl. But my mom,
my mom's my therapist.
My mom like is everything to me. So I just talk to her, and I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm like her daughter and her twin. So she is able to like, she just understands me. So I think just talking to her just kind of calms me down a little bit more. Her and just her.
Fuck you, Manny. She's just like her and looks at you and goes,
No, honestly too though, like he has been a saint through some of the things that I've put him through. Yeah. You know, I remember one day I called him, and he kept asking me like what I wanted to do. We were supposed to go do something, and I was just crying. I could not stop crying. Yeah. And he was like, and he was like, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't know. And I didn't even want to talk to, and then it was to the point where I couldn't explain myself. And then I didn't know how to tell him. And I felt like he was getting irritated with me because I couldn't stop crying. I was in a funk, and I couldn't get out of it. And finally he was just like, babe, you just need to talk to me. You just need, you need to let me know. You need to let me in. I think that was a big thing. So now I make sure to communicate that to him. That's good. Because a lot of people are just like, well, if you don't get it, you don't get it. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, it's hard to open up to people, but
like you were saying with that support system, that's important to just kind of feel comfortable to say, today I'm having an off day.
Yeah.
And I feel like shit and I might start crying.
Yeah. And I think he understands me now. You know, I think he understands that I'm an emotional wreck majority of the time. And he loves me through it, I think.
I think. So I kind of want to touch on because I'm a huge believer in therapy. I started going to therapy when I was in college, my last year of college.
I'm a big believer, and I always say that, you know, sometimes you do need to just let it out.
Yeah, but therapy is kind of different for everyone. You don't necessarily need a therapist because some people need that understanding of, like, some people don't like to just talk to some random person and have them be like, oh, okay, yeah. So what do you think you're going to do about that? You know, some people want input.
Yeah.
I've always said that I think everyone needs therapy, but that's not.
I do believe that.
Yeah, but that's not, because you have rough days. Like, even if you're not depressed, some days you wake up sad and you're like, I don't know why I'm sad. But I think everyone needs that. This kind of goes hand in hand with therapy and a good support system, because I don't like to talk to people about my problems necessarily. I know I preach it a ton and it kind of takes me a while, but I have to hone in on a friend and be like, I'll call them and be like, yo, what are you doing? Nothing. Can I just vent to you? And they're like, yeah, sure. When I don't feel like talking to a friend, then I'll hit up Judy. Shout out to Judy. I'll hit up Judy and be like, that's my therapist. And I'll be like, hey, can we set up an appointment? She'll go, yes. And then I'll be like, just listen and then you can talk. And she'll be like, okay.
Do you want my ears, or do you want my opinion, or just my ears? Like when,
Exactly.
when my friends talk to me, I'm like, you want my opinion, or do you just need a vent? Like, do you just want me to sit there and be like, okay, you know? I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, that's great. And I think it's important to have friends that you can communicate that to. Like, and we were talking about this before, friends you have different tiers of friends. You can have those friends that you go out and party with and get like super crazy with. That's totally fine. But if you only have those friends and it's all surface level, like, what'd you do today? Nothing. Let's take shots. You know, like, if you only have those friends, you're like, oh, can we like do something else? And they're like, no, let's take shots. And you're just kind of like, what the hell? You can have those friends, but you also need the friends that you can say, you know, let's have a bonfire. And then you're sitting there and you're like, yo, I don't know about my job, and then they give input, or they just sit there and listen. Like, that's super important. You have your mom. You have your mom and Manny. Do you think do you have anyone else? Like, is anyone else on that?
I mean, I have, luckily, like, throughout the years, like, probably in the last, 3, I have definitely looked at my circle and been like, you know what? Not saying that everyone needs to be a purpose, or, you know, like, has to add anything to me. But if you literally are just not someone that I either trust, or someone that doesn't just like benefit me in a positive way,
right?
You know, it's just, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know. So in the past probably like 3 years, I have completely changed who I revolve myself with. Like, I completely changed it. Like, I have friends that I've known, like Claudia, literally my best friend, known her forever. I have her, and then I have friends that I like met 2 years ago that mean the world to me now. Right. You know, I don't think it has to do with anything but like how long you've known them or anything, but it's just like keeping the positive people in your life and surrounding yourself with someone that you I guess that you just trust, you know, that's what I've done. Yeah. So I'm very, very lucky to say that like the people around me are just genuinely good people, you know? So I think that has a lot to do with it. If you hang out with people that literally just get drunk every single day, like, what is that doing for you? You know? And that's when I started to realize, like, I need to change who I'm hanging out with, you know? I need to change what I'm doing. And that was another thing, like alcohol. I stopped drinking a lot, and I think alcohol does. Do you need a refill?
No, it's all good. Anyway, alcohol. Shout out to June Shine, sponsor us.
No, just drinking every day, I think, for me, which I was doing, that really, I think that took a toll on me mentally. Like, I will say.
Dude, alcohol's the only way I can put it is alcohol's a motherfucker. I know.
As I'm just like.
I know. Alcohol is a motherfucker because, and I don't think it's, actually, let me take that back. Alcohol is awesome.
I love it.
With
Don't get me wrong.
responsibly.
I love it.
Drink responsibly.
Yes.
But,
or not.
and again, I'm not, she doesn't speak on ThisLife podcast by Mayorca Media at Local Hub
I'm
Studios.
just kidding. I was a complete joke.
So alcohol can be fun. If you're in the right mindset to drink, if you are just like, hey, I'm going to go out with friends and we're going to drink. It's going to be fun. Oh my God, I got a little too drunk last night. That's fine. But if you have that intention of like, I'm going to get fucked up tonight and I had a long day, I'm going to get fucked up. And then it's like, I have some friends that are like, just drink their sorrows away. And I'm just like, I'm going to have to pick her up at the end of the night.
No, I learned that the hard way. I learned that, trust me, Manny. The beginning of our relationship, he was just like, almost like my babysitter. Yeah. And I'm embarrassed to look back at it and be like, damn, like he stayed. Like right. He really stayed. But, and I'm so thankful for that. But, yeah, in the beginning, he just kind of talked to me because I think I did drink a lot. I was young, but I definitely drank to the point where I think after drinking, anxiety is a thing. Yep. You get anxiety after you drink. And I was dealing with that almost every day, like, to the point because I would drink a lot. Yeah. And he just kind of like pulled me aside. He's like, look, like if this is a lifestyle that you want to live, cool. I'm glad to be in it, but as friends. Right. But if you're trying to date me and if you want to continue what we have, you're going to need to calm down. And I took that to heart and I was like, okay. Like, so, I calmed down a lot and I think that he definitely humbled me and which I'm so thankful for.
We got to get Manny a mic. Sorry, man. I only have two. Set up.
You want to come speak real quick?
Manny, we're gonna have you on. We're gonna have you on one of these, because I'm sure you have trauma from this one.
I honestly though,
just kidding.
He has nightmares about me.
It's hard to stand by someone who goes through this stuff, especially if it's kind of. And it's always sporadic. Like I've been on antidepressants for close to a year now, and I still have those days off where I'm just kind of like, shit, But like if I'm ever dating someone, I'm upfront about it. And a lot of people are not upfront about it because it's weird to talk about. You're not going to be like, hey, nice to meet you. How are you? What's your favorite movie? Also, I have depression. That's like, what the hell? Right. So then sometimes you have to just be like, hey, I'm having a really off day today. I don't feel like talking. Or, hey, you know what? Something happened today. I'll explain it to you tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then it's hard for someone to just stand by and be like, okay, yeah, take your time.
Yeah. Luckily, he's super understanding.
Yeah.
So he understood.
That's big on you, man.
Yeah. No, he's very patient. That's another thing. You have to be very patient and just understand like what somebody's going through. And luckily he is, Yeah. And so that it helped a lot.
Okay. So I was talking about antidepressants before. I was talking about how it's helped me, and same thing. Therapy and antidepressants have helped me a ton. Mm-hmm. And I kind of
support system. That's what you're saying.
Right. And I kind of preach that. I'm like, I don't love antidepressants, but like they've helped me a ton. So has therapy. And you said therapy wasn't really big for you, and you were taking Xanax from someone's purse. But did you ever go on an antidepressant and like, what did you feel?
I'm very like, it's really hard for me to take medication because I don't want to say that I'm like anti-medication because I'm not, and I take medication every day. Right. But sometimes my body is just different. It just doesn't react to things.
Sorry, I just kicked the table.
It just doesn't react to things right. I don't know. And I think I was more scared, especially in the profession I'm in. I have to be there, you know? So feeling like I just didn't want to just be on it. And my mom has talked to me about it and was like, there's different kinds, and I'm just like, I rather handle it because I don't think that I would be okay on it. And I come from a background of people taking abusers of either literally anything, you know, addicts and everything. And that was a really big scare for me. I don't want to be addicted to it. Right. And I think that I think just that too kind of I had a thing. So I just was like, you know what? No. And I saw myself on Xanax. I saw who I didn't want to be, you know, and I think that it just scared me. It scared me. But I know, I have some friends that really go through it, you know, and she is just like, you know, like if she needs it, like you take it every day.
Every day.
It's
on milligrams. Lexapro. Shout out to Lexapro.
My mom told me to try that.
Big Pharma.
Yeah, my mom. And you know, like she is a completely different person when she's not on it.
Right.
Not, you know, so it just
in a bad way.
I wouldn't say bad, just different. You're just different.
Does she kind of like get like numbed up when she's on them?
I think she's a happier person when she's on them.
She's happier when she's on them. Okay. Yeah, because I think if I stop taking them for like 2 days, then I start feeling a little like groggy and like kind of just like slow.
You're just going through the motion of things.
Yeah, when I'm not taking them, but like the way I explain it is like it's a supplement. It supplements your happiness. And my friend Michaela Buckley, I'll never forget, she said this. I don't remember how we started talking about this, but she kind of normalized it for me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to therapy, and my therapist was talking about putting me on antidepressants. And she was like, oh, I'm on them. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I think about it like I'm taking my birth control. I take my birth control because it helps regulate my menstruation. So
it does. It helps. I don't take it, but
you're way too happy. It really does. It's awesome.
No, I'm on a different thing to regulate myself.
Anyway, that threw me off.
Edit that out, please.
I won't. Yeah, so she told me I take birth control and I take allergy medication. I don't need them, but it makes me feel comfortable, and it makes my life kind of flow better.
Right.
And she's like, if you think about antidepressants like that, then, you know, it's really not that big of a deal. And I was just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. I don't think it's a big of a deal. It's too big, you know? I think if you take it, you take it. If you need it, cool. Like I feel like now our generation is people talk about it a little bit more.
Right.
Where back then it wasn't something that people really said.
People make podcasts about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Even like me and you talking, like when I was doing your hair, you would have never known that what I deal with. You know? It's just there, I guess.
So I want to talk about the kind of, not the daily stressors, but the stressors in your job. Because like myself, we don't really have, I guess, quote unquote, stability. We don't really know where our next paycheck comes from. Right. And like COVID hit and they shut your thing down.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was a whole nother thing. That was me stressing, thinking I had a brain tumor behind my left eye just because I gave myself a mite. I'm not kidding. Like what?
I'm sorry to laugh. Like that's so
no, it's funny now. At the time, I thought I was dying, but it's babe, tell him.
I have a headache. It must be a tumor.
It's true.
No, it was to the point where like everything was being shut down, right? And then all of a sudden they took my job away from me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is real.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that was scary. And at the same time, I don't believe in. Can you edit this out if this isn't okay?
Yeah.
The Karens that said, you know, we need a haircut and not to work, you know, to go through that. And I'm like, dude, that's putting a bad name on me.
Right.
I don't want to give you a haircut. You know? Right. So going through that and then feeling that.
So the people that were saying COVID's not a thing, I don't care, cut my hair.
That scared me.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, so people think that this shutdown is nothing, you know. And then going through the shutdown, you know, I think I made myself sick. I gave myself a really bad headache to the point where I thought I remember crying just constantly, and then it would hurt to cry because it gave me such a bad headache.
Oh my God.
Like, and I remember calling my mom at like 4:00 in the morning being like, I'm dying. I think I'm dying. I have a brain tumor behind my left eye.
I just think it's so funny that you like self-diagnose yourself with, that.
And then my mom, and I think my mom can tell me I'm wrong, but I think she believed me.
Really?
Her and my grandma. My nana is my nana. Also love that lady. She exaggerates literally everything. So she's like, "Oh my God, Mija has a brain tumor." And so I remember calling Manny and being like, "Babe, I'm dying." Like, you know. So,
dude.
And then my mom was like, "We need to take you to the emergency room." Right. And I said, "No, I don't want to get COVID." So then I was like, I'm either going to die of COVID or I'm going to die of a brain tumor. I'm going to take the brain tumor. I honestly, that was my thought process. And then I remember my mom calling Manny and being like, or like telling him like, you need to get her out the house.
Come get your girl.
Come get her. She's, you know, I had never had to literally entertain at the time I was 25. So my 25-year-old daughter.
How old are you now?
I'm 26.
Fuck off, dude. At the time I was 25.
At the time I was 25, I was so young. Now I'm old as hell. So Manny ended up actually, I don't really smoke weed, but I do believe that some people need to. And, you know, that's another thing. Like, I think that people could smoke it to help with anxiety. I do think it helps. Me personally, I don't like coughing. Like, that's just, I don't know. No. So he went and got me CBD oil. And so I did that. And I think just getting... Huh? THC?
THC and CBD oil.
Oh, a mixture of THC
I don't know,
and
CBD oil.
Yeah.
And
like the 2-to-1 or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to... Just
okay, so then you got THC and CBD. Did it help?
Yeah, I think so. It helped a lot. Because why?
I ended up getting high and we watched Night at the Roxbury.
We did drink it.
You just said, I don't know if the audio gets picked up.
So he said that we drank it pretty much and got high, and he got high. He nodded, and we watched The Night at the Roxbury. And I remember my mom texting me being like, Manny's laugh.
Dude, the high laugh is something different, man.
It was his laugh is like, I love it because it makes me laugh. So then we're just laughing and we do not stop.
What does it sound like?
I don't know.
Do you know what it is?
He like I don't know.
It's a very like HA period.
Yeah, it's like ha ha ha. No, I'm just kidding.
Ha ha.
Like the Kawhi Leonard laugh.
Yeah. I'm a fun guy.
You're making me cry and I have eyelashes on. Stop. I don't want my eyelashes coming off.
Oh man, I love that video, dude. I watch it at least like once every 2 weeks. And his eyes are just like, I'm a fun guy. Obviously I love the game of basketball. You got to ask me more questions. I can't just give you a spiel. I don't even know where you sitting at. Like
all of that
because I watch it once every 2 weeks.
Oh, sorry.
Dude,
sorry.
I love it. He's just so like. Anyway.
Anyways, so that yeah.
Kawhi Leonard's laugh, yeah.
No, The Night at the Roxbury. No. We were doing that when we were watching
Fit, dude.
as we were high. Yeah. No, so no, he went and got that, and then that honestly, so I will say that helped a lot. And then finally, my mom was just like, "You need to get out of the house." Yeah. So I think my birthday was like right after that, and he took me. Where did we go? We went to Del Mar, and just getting fresh air. You know, I think that helped.
100%.
Yeah. So back to COVID, that was rough for me.
Yeah.
And then this shutdown sucks.
The second shutdown.
The second shutdown.
So I know a lot of people are listening all over the world. California had to shut down again, and
Yes.
it was only shout out to Mayor Faulkner, I believe is how you say his name, because the governor said everything has to shut down again.
Neymar, what's it? Neymar, soccer player. Newsom.
Yeah, Newsom said we have to shut everything down, and then the governor was like, "Yeah, but we can still have operations outside."
Okay, let me tell you about that real quick.
Okay.
Because coming from the profesh, you might have makeup on your mic later.
That's fine.
Okay. One, it is so unsanitary for me to cut hair outside. Not only that, but majority of me personally, it might help a barber, right? Because they don't do color.
Yeah.
And they just do men's hair, but not just. It's a big deal. They do men's hair. Like, I don't want to talk down on that. But as a Cosmo, I do hair color, and they're saying that we can't do hair color outside. That's all my clientele, majority of it, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
So I still can't make a living with that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So I'm not going to do outside because I can't. So, and the unsanitary of it, I work on Grand at 7 Signature Salon. My name is Jasmine Cardoza. I've been doing hair for a really long time. Anyways.
She does a good job, man. Look at this. Look at this fade.
My Instagram is Jasmine, Jasmine Cardoza, Cardozaa.
I was going to do that at the end, but yeah, go for it now. Plug your handles now. No big deal.
Check out my Instagram.
At 7 Salon.
At 7 a signature salon on Grand, 240 East Grand Avenue. Anyways, so there's a lot. Burger Bench is right across the street from us. Miko Sushi is also across the street from us. H Brothers is down the street. If I were to do hair outside, you will literally be eating, and there's several salons on the street. So, and there's one right next to it. So you will literally be eating hair, which is so unsanitary.
Yeah, that's true.
How are we supposed to clean that? We can't sweep the street. Like, that's disgusting. And they're saying we can't wash either. Do you like when I wash your hair?
Yes. Dude, I love getting my hair washed.
Yeah.
It's so, like it kind of takes that. I mean, there's still hair in there after, but like in the middle, it's just
relaxing.
Dope. It's dope,
it's that's why you go to a 7 Signature Salon to get your hair done.
4-3. What is it? 432, 435 Grand.
240
240
East Grand Avenue.
240 East Grand Avenue, Escondido, California 92026 something. 6.
I think I don't even know.
92026 or 7. How did you take the second? So compare the first shutdown to the second shutdown. Mentally, how did you take it?
Way better. In the first shutdown.
The second one was better?
Yes. The first shutdown, luckily I'm a saver, so I wasn't too stressed about money or anything, but I also wasn't getting unemployment. So that was another thing. I was just like, okay, and I wasn't doing home hair because I was scared of literally everything, and I didn't even want to see anyone.
Right.
So why are you laughing?
This is funny.
Are you laughing about my brain tumor?
Yeah, a little bit. Go ahead.
It's not funny. It was a real thing. Anyways, I wasn't getting unemployment or anything. So dealing with that was a stress itself, So I think that had a lot to do with that too, with me getting migraines.
Right. Was the stress of it. So this time I was able to get unemployment. I was able to get unemployment the first time, but not in the beginning. I was able to get it later. So now that I was able to get it again, it eased me a little bit, and before I wasn't doing any home hair. Yeah.
So that also scared me. Like not touching, I don't know. Like, I love my job. So not being able to do hair, I think that really took a toll on me.
Yeah. Having that kind of routine of, doing what you love.
Yeah.
I get you, man. The first shutdown was rough.
It hurt you, right? Because of weddings and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I bounced back, but the first shutdown was a bitch. It was. I lost all of my business in a day. I was on the phone all day, just kind of like, people were like, "Hey, just wait. We don't know if we're gonna have to shut down or not." Next day, we got to shut down.
My aunt was actually talking about you today, and saying how she was telling her client, I think she knew you were coming in, and she was telling her like, yeah, like we're ready for him to come and like video it and everything, and then she's like, and then literally COVID hit. And she's like, I could only imagine. Like 2 weeks later,
she always gives me shit for this, but she gave me a deposit, which I still have. And then 2 weeks later, it was like COVID.
Yeah.
It was like, it almost feels like it was overnight, because we're sitting there, like writing everything out, writing up the contract, writing up what she wanted. And then boom. So she was one of the clients that was like, I kind of just assumed, I don't think she called me. I kind of just assumed, oh, they're going to have to close.
Yeah.
And then I texted her and she was like, yeah, we have to close. And then I had some events that had more than 250 people, because it started at 250 people and then it went down to 10, and that had to close, or that had to shut down, and that had to be canceled. And yeah, I had a huge breakdown.
It's rough on self-employers, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the whole stress itself, I think.
Well, even on some people who were employed by, like my friend Julio, and I spoke to him, that's probably going to be the episode before this, but he got laid off, and luckily he found vending machines. He started getting into vending machines, but so many people don't have the time, don't have the resources, don't have, and this isn't a COVID podcast, but this can happen at any time.
All right.
You can be laid off at any time. And I told my friend Julio that before COVID happened, I was kind of struggling. I was in that point where like, I didn't really have consistent clients. I just didn't have consistency. And I was like struggling for my dollar, like every single day. And then COVID happened and I was just like, oh, and like obviously your brain just shuts down. You're like,
right.
Fuck.
I think that's how I was. I remember we said we went to Lourdes. Remember that?
Dude, shout out to Lourdes. They have the best chicken soup. If you're ever sick,
really
go there.
It
cures COVID.
Yeah. It was
kidding.
right after I was sick with my headache.
Oh,
no,
with your tumor.
With my headache.
Yeah. It cures tumors as well. Go ahead.
That's not fucking funny.
Dude. Go ahead. I'm not making fun of tumors. I'm making fun of her.
Completely different.
Don't cancel me on episode 2, please.
No. So I remember we were sitting at Lourdes, or we were leaving, and I think I wanted it, and I was like, I really want Lourdes soup, and I think he wanted like a burrito or something. So we went to Lourdes, and when we were leaving, I was gonna pay for it, and I remember he paid for it. He's like, no, babe, like I got it. Save your money. And that itself. One, I'm a crier when I'm happy, sad, angry, annoyed. Just being here. I just cry. Yeah. So I remember walking out and my eyes just started water. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, one, that was so nice of you. And two, like, and then I started stressing. And then I got a migraine again. And then I started getting...
Your tumor came back.
Yes. I remember I was just like, I don't want you doing that. Do you remember that? I was crying in the parking lot of Lourdes Soup on Escondido Boulevard.
Shout out to Lourdes.
Yeah. And
sponsor me.
And I was crying because I was just so like, I don't know. I think I was just stressed, and then anxiety hit.
Because it's that little thing that amounts to something way bigger.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that wasn't Manny's, that he wasn't trying to be like, yo, you don't have a job. Like, I'll pay for it. It was like, we might hit rough times, and it was like a trigger.
Yeah.
Again, another trigger.
Definitely.
And
that was another thing. I think I felt, I don't want to say resentment towards him, but I was still like, damn, you're an essential worker, Yeah. Like, and then that I was just like, well, he's still working, but I knew that like hairstylist, like, you don't need a fucking haircut. Yeah. You don't need your highlights. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to give those to you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't have an income. And then that's when I started to feel like, oh shit, like it hit me.
Yeah.
So that was scary.
this whole thing it's been weird. It's been confusing. It's been eye-opening. It's been there's so many layers that go in this little onion.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you doing now to kind of keep yourself, and I think we'll end on this, keep yourself, I'm not talking about income, I'm talking about mentally, just kind of keep yourself steady on a steady course to not kind of have a breakdown?
Honestly, I don't really have one. I think that
Drugs.
edibles.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
My mom's
I'm
gonna see
totally.
this.
I'm my mom.
I said my mom.
Oh, my mom knows. I told her.
Ooh.
I tell my mom everything. Anyways,
There you
no, I don't know. I think that just trying to know that, like, when the next life change hits me, you know, I think that just knowing that I might be a little bit more sensitive than, or it's going to hit me, I guess. Like,
Right.
you know, and I think that my next life change, hopefully it's something positive. So hopefully it doesn't do too much on me. But I do think that, like, just knowing, like, okay, like, it's not, you're going to be okay.
Right.
And just talking about it, I think, too. Just being like, look, like, this is how I'm feeling. But again, like, you never know. Like, I cry, like, for no reason. No, I'm serious. Like, when I feel like I'm getting backed into a corner, then that's when I start feeling like, okay, my heart is racing.
Some people get pissed. Some people get, angry. Some people cry. Oh, no, I'm not shitting
No,
on you
I'm
for
saying,
it.
but when I'm getting, like, when I'm feeling, like, anxious,
right.
I'm a crier. I cry a lot in that.
Sorry, it's just the way you say it. I respect you.
Right. No, it's just, I think that just knowing that, like, you're going to be okay and not feeling like your whole world is tumbling down. I'm telling myself that I'm going to be fine. And hopefully I'm able to express that and talk about it instead of just holding that all in and then just going down a downward spiral.
Right.
So
I think life changes are scary, but they're important. Like I said in the beginning, a year ago, I was like, I'm going to quit my job. And this has probably been one of the hardest years. I haven't had a very hard life. I'm very privileged. But this has been, mentally, it's been one of the hardest years, but it's been good. Like,
yeah.
I can look back and be like, all right, I've put in the work. I'm happy of where I'm at right now. And, yeah, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get worse,
Yeah.
Everything could be over by tomorrow, but I know how to bounce back because I've been through COVID and all this other crap.
Yeah. I definitely believe that. I think that, like, obviously, like, I'm very thankful for where I am, and I'm thankful that I can make a life for myself that I've always wanted through what I'm doing. But I also understand that, like, it can also just come tumbling down, and it's just, like, the matter of keeping a positive, like, outlook on it.
100%. Jasmine, I want to say thank you for being on here. I know we talked about it before. It kind of seems surreal, like, that we're here. Like, it went like that. But where can people find you? Where can people follow you?
So
7 Salon. Here we go.
I work at
I'm gonna step back. Go ahead.
So I work at 7 and Signature Salon, and yeah, I'm a hairstylist, and my name is Jasmine Cardoza. I work in Escondido.
Okay.
That's it. I don't really know.
Do you want people to follow you on social media?
Please follow me on social media. My name is Jasmine, Jasmine Cardoza, Cardoza.
Is that your at?
Yeah.
Really?
My at is Jasmine Cardoza with double A's at the end of Cardoza.
There you go. Good for you.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, follow me. I can help you with your hair needs.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Boy and girl. Sorry.
Gentlemen.
Guys and girls.
Don't be scared
women.
of the hairstylist title. It's just a title. She's a barber. Thank you so much for joining us on ThisLife podcast. Follow me at Mayorca Media. That's MAYORCA MEDIA. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. Not concerns really, but whatever. Yeah, this was a fun one. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Cut.
Is that a good one?
Was that good? You. Right before it cut off.